sentence expresses a complete thought. Please read what it says. Do you have it in front of you?
Well, no, I have in your prayer. When you pray to kill the Jews.
No, that's not what it says. You see, it seems like you read a lot of Jewish literature because you're not reading.
It's the Jewish literature that has me. It's the Jew literature. Yes.
Now you are Jewish.
Yes.
Okay.
Do you want to kill me?
Huh?
Do you want me to die?
Well, that'll be determined later.
I see.
It says, it says, oh God, I beseech you to carry out your wrath on the Jewish occupiers of Palestine and their supporters. It doesn't say on Jewish people. It's not a blanket statement. I have no reason to see Noam Chomsky or Howard Zinn or Norman Finkelstein or Milton Friedman if he was still alive.
So which Jews do you want to see dead?
Well, you're doing a story. I thought you would have researched a little.
Well, no, I'm asking you to explain. You don't have to be hostile. I'm asking you to explain yourself. Which Jews do you want to see dead?
I said, no, I made a prayer. It said, Ya Allah, oh God, I beseech you to carry out your wrath on the Jewish occupiers of Palestine and their supporters. Then the next line, Ya Allah, that means, oh God, please throw liquid drain cleaner in their faces. The next line, Ya Allah, oh God, burn their flammable sukkahs while they sleep. That's those huts they sleep in on as sukkahs holiday.
Sounds pretty violent.
Well, that's the way the immune system is when it eradicates disease. Ya Allah, oh God, make rocks crash through their car windows as they drive in your land, Bayt al-Maqdis. That means occupied Palestine,
right?
48 and 67. And Ya Allah, oh God, make their fingers and brains stick on cafe walls from impact. Ya Allah, oh God, answer my dua, my prayer, sincerely, Yousef al-Khattab.
Now,
that's what I wrote. Nowhere did I say to kill Jews. First of all,
certain Jews. You want to kill certain Jews.
Islam would
not all the Jews, just the Jews who even want a certain Jewish state or.
Well, it's not a matter of a Jewish. It's not a matter of that. It has nothing to do with that. It's a matter of taking people's indigenous land and occupying it, and then saying, well, we want a state.
And anybody who supports that position should also have liquid drainer in their eyes, right?
Oh, well, I mean, it could be Drano. I mean, the Jewish.
It could be a variety of
it could
liquids.
Be the batteries from the cars that the Jews.
Oh, so there's some options. I see. Okay.
Exactly. There's a lot of battery acid in those old batteries. There's many options. Yeah.
Why do you have this hatred in you?
Why? Well, we have a concept in Islam. It's called al-wala wa al-bara. That means we love for the sake of God and we hate for the sake of God. We love all that is good and we hate all that is evil. And
who determines what evil is? Do you?
Well, we can let's take it from the biblical sense. Thou shalt not steal. The Jews were thrown out and put into the exile. Yeah. I mean, all we have to do right now, Alan, is a swab inside your cheek, and we could find out your genetic markers, and we could see where everybody came from. You know, in 1902, less than 2% of the indigenous population of Palestine was Jewish. So they really have no claim there to be there.
Right.
They stole the land. They had no claim to it. And we have no problem with Jews living in Palestine, but not to throw the indigenous people, the Christians.
So you're okay with American Jews, or the American Jews who support that, you want to have liquid...
No. I didn't say I was okay with American Jews.
Oh, okay. You don't like them either.
There's no blanket statement.
All right. Tell me let me ask the question in reverse. What Jews are okay with you?
What Jews are, well, it's an individual case. We judge people by their acts of piety. We don't give blanket statements, well, these Jews are okay. We don't say that. But if a Jew believes in the Talmud that says that our prophet and our Messiah, Jesus Christ, and his mother is a prostitute, as it says in the Talmud, if they like that, then I have nothing to do with any Jew like that. But a Jew that stands up for human rights, for example, Noam Chomsky, or a Jew that stands up for what's right in the world, I have no problem with that.
Now, you were born Joseph Cohen, so you were born Jewish. What happened to you?
By the way, Alan Colmes, what were you born? Is that your name of birth, Alan Colmes?
Yes.
It is?
Correct.
Your father's name is Colmes?
My father was born in Russia. The name was Kalametzer. And when my father came here in 1906 during the pogroms, when Jews were being persecuted, his Russian name was Kalametzer. And, when you come to this country, they sometimes will give you another name. And we got the name Colmes, and I was born Colmes. That's my birth name.
Okay, because it sounds very Anglo.
I'm telling you the history of my name. Now, you were born Joseph Cohen, and how did you wind up becoming a Muslim and renouncing your Jewish name?
Okay, well, actually, I was born into a secular Jewish family, just like you. We probably grew up very similar. At age 18, I was looking for more.
You were bar mitzvahed?
Of course, but I went to Hebrew school
right, okay.
all my life,
right.
Like any other secular American Jewish kid. That's what I grew up with.
Yeah.
At 18 years old, somebody called me up. Actually, somebody came in a store. I was managing a store, and he told me I could show you Jesus' name, peace and blessings be upon him, in the Bible, in the Torah. And I said, absolutely not, because when I was Jewish, we were taught to hate Jesus Christ, quite simply.
Wait. I was never taught to hate Jesus Christ.
Well, I don't know what you were taught.
I was never taught that.
When I went to Hebrew school, we were very much taught that, and even in my family, it was a very tolerant family. I mean, they don't really hate Christians or things like that, but when it came to Jesus, peace and blessings be upon him, they mocked him all the time.
We didn't have a very similar upbringing at all then, because I was never taught that.
I don't know where you grew up. Every one of my friends that was a secular Jew that I grew up with talked about what they call Yashka and Yoizel and this and that.
Never even heard those words before.
Oh, well, I mean, I could show you countless people.
Okay, I would tell you I did not have that kind of upbringing.
No problem. Understood.
Right. So what happened? How did that?
You find it in the Torah, and I said, absolutely you couldn't. So I started looking up rabbis in the phone book, and they were all on vacation or wherever they were, and the one that answered was an Orthodox rabbi. And he invited me down to their minyan where they pray on, Mondays and Thursdays. I went down there.
Right.
Never really saw that kind of stuff. One teacher I had that was religious, I remember it reminded me of it. And I came down with my Bible because I went to a Catholic high school, so I had like the Old Testament, New Testament thing. It was in English.
Right.
So I just read the Old Testament, and I didn't read the New Testament part. And he took it and he threw it in the garbage. This is straight up, Alan. I kid you not. And I was just taken back, whoa, what was that, Rabbi? And he told me this, you don't use this. And he gave me what's called a chumash. So it kind of took me back, and then he invited me over, and I started to see how Orthodox Jews were and how they keep their Shabbos and blah, blah, blah. And I ended up going to the school, and I liked it. It was like an identity for me. Before that, I was just an American.
How do we get to the Muslim part?
So after 10 years of that, I saw that I didn't learn to worship one God without intercession, meaning the Jews say, Bizchut Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, in the merit of Rabbi Shimon when they pray. They don't pray, sometimes when they make a prayer, they don't pray directly to God. And the Talmud, it also says...
But I don't mean, I'm just to move the story along, I really want to get to your transition
it's a long
point.
Story.
Yeah.
I'd like to give you
But I'm only doing a 3-hour show. Seriously, what was the transition point for you?
But so I still have another 2 hours and 50 minutes. What were we saying? What was the transition point?
Yeah.
Well, there were a number of factors, but when I went to occupied Palestine and I saw what they would call the big rabbis, and I asked them questions on human rights, and
that made you into a Muslim?
Well, actually, that made me read the Quran, because before that I didn't read the Quran. As soon as I read the Quran, wallahi, I couldn't put it down. Really, the Chumash, the Torah in its corrupted version of today, it's really quite boring, Alan.
So basically, your association with Orthodox Judaism turned you so much against Jews and Judaism that you decided to become a Muslim.
Well, it's not just Orthodox. You see, the problem with Orthodox Judaism is what they say about Isa, Prophet Jesus, peace and blessings be upon him. But the problem of the quote-unquote state of Israel, that's something that's supported by Jews almost across the border, with the exception of very few.
Right, and those are the few who you accept. The others you would all like to have drain cleaner or whatever it is in their eye and pray for their death.
Whoever supports it. We believe in something called the Rahmah.
Right. And by the way, you claim that most Muslims agree with you.
One second before you get...
No, you hold on a second. I got to take a break. No, I've got to take a break. I got to take a break. Calm down.
You got it.
We'll be right back. It's called, got to pay my exorbitant salary. We'll be right back with Yousef al-Khattab, and we'll open up our phones, 877-367. You want to talk to him, 877-367-2526.
Talk it out with Alan Colmes, 877-367-2526.
Yousef al-Khattab, formerly Joseph Cohen, drives a pedicab here in New York City, where I am. He has a website called revolutionmuslim.com. Last year, you made some comment about what Daniel Pearl was it? You said about Let me see. What was your deal with Daniel Pearl? I know we had you on for that.
Yeah, there was a video that I uploaded.
Right.
I actually didn't make that video, and
right.
People seemed to be offended. It was like a mock beheading where they used.
You kind of mocked the beheading of Daniel Pearl?
It wasn't me. I just I thought it was very funny. I saw it online, and
you think beheading Daniel Pearl was funny?
Well, absolutely. He was found guilty, and he was a spy. Yeah,
who found him guilty? Who found him guilty?
Passport, right? They're not going to let him in.
Who found him guilty?
What's that?
Who found Daniel Pearl guilty?
The courts, the Islamic courts in Palestine.
The Islamic courts.
Absolutely. Pakistan is an Islamic country, isn't it?
And you thought it was funny that you thought it was funny. You thought it was funny he got beheaded.
Absolutely. I mean,
where's the humor in that? What's the punchline?
The humor is it's one less spy, one less Zionist. He himself said who his family is. He said that there's a street named after his grandfather in
Right, so you want to kill the Zionists?
No, I don't. I didn't say. I asked Allah to do that.
You asked God to kill them.
I want to do.
Well, you want them dead.
I never kiss and tell. You know what I mean,
want them. You want them dead. You want Zionists dead?
Talking about?
Yeah, you want Zionists dead.
I prefer to see the Zionists guided, but by any means necessary, Alan.
And you also believe any true Muslim would say the same thing, and you are a bad representative for Muslims. Most Muslims do not say these things. Most Muslims don't want them dead.
Belong to your school of thought. Well, not school of thought, I should say. They belong to this corptocracy and this Ayn Rand state we are, where you can't really speak, or you'll lose your job, or you'll be marginalized, or they'll put an ad and say, "Well, he's a pedicab driver," thinking like that would affect me. But the truth is,
well, I don't.
Well, not you. I'm saying that's why they put pedicab driver. The fact is, a pedicab driver has nothing to do with what I wrote. You know what I mean?
Well, no,
so
I mean
any job that I go to, the Jews always call up, and they always say, "Do you know that this man did this and that?" And they do it to the pedicabs. They've done it for the past 2 years. But the good news is that most pedicab drivers, the ones that are from this country, are revolutionaries themselves, and they're like bike messengers. They want to have nothing to do with it.
All right, you see, you want God to kill the Jews that occupy Palestine and their supporters, but obviously God's not listening to you. Why do you suppose God's not listening to you?
I don't think that's, I mean, from what I've seen, per capita, more Jews are killed in Palestine than anywhere else. I mean, the Jews, as far as I've seen.
And you celebrate that?
Absolutely, I celebrate it, just as you would a bus full of Nazis going off a mountain.
So you would compare Jews in Palestine to Nazis?
No, I wouldn't compare them, because I think the Nazis had a more legitimate platform to stand on than the Jews did.
Nazis were better than these Jews.
The Germans are a nation. Second of all, what the Jews did in World War I, when they went to the United States, the bankers, and they got the United States to get in World War I, getting them into debt, starting the war with Germany, then making them pay for the war.
Yeah.
So this should have been a lesson.
Does it concern you at all that your views and your speech, which is free speech, but that doesn't come without responsibility, in my view,
100%. Does
not perhaps incite other people to commit violent acts?
Well, I'm not a mind reader. I can only speak what's on my mind.
So if somebody said, I like this...
I hope to wake the believers. There's no question about that.
So if someone says, I like what this Khattab guy is saying, I'm going to go kill some Jews, you'd be okay with that?
You know what they say, beauty's in the eye of the beholder. You know what I mean, Alan?
No, I don't know what you mean. But listen, okay. I guess you probably revel in some of this publicity. I always say sunlight's the best disinfectant.
At least I should get that, right? I mean, it's not like you offered me any money to be here.
We don't pay our guests. I'm sorry.
Well, there you go. So,
but they do say sunlight's the best disinfectant. So I appreciate your coming on the program tonight.
That was Brandeis. Yes, you quoted.
Yes, it was Louis Brandeis, a Jew, by the way.
Well, okay. Anyway, Alan, it's nice talking to you as usual, and I'll keep you in my dua and my prayers. I'm
not sure I want to be in your prayers. Thank you very much. We'll come back. Thank you. We'll be back. And I don't think bro would be the appropriate relationship. We'll be back at 877-367-2526.
Compelling.